Hello, I am Donnie, and I am the cute one.
And I'm Chelsea, and I am the cute one.
TGIF, cuties.
Happy Friday.
It's Halloween weekend.
Woo-hoo.
How was your week, Chelsea?
It was good. I feel like I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the throes of spooky season of fall. This is like my favorite time of the year. I would prefer it to be a little bit crisp outside and not, an easy bake oven in the atmosphere because of climate change, but I'll take what I can get, I suppose.
Chelsea, I asked you how your week was, but you segued right into mine.
Sure.
I'm going to a haunted house tonight, and now that it's 82 degrees in New York, I don't even want to go. I want to cancel. I spent $40 on her, but who the fuck cares? I don't want to go anymore. If I can't wear plaid, forget about it.
Someone needs to do a wellness check on Lenny Kravitz, because I really hope that man is not wearing his signature look, that giant ass fall scarf, because he's going to get heat stroke.
Not just him. You may recall I have a matching one. I can't wear it either.
Oh no. Wellness check on you. Over this past weekend, we had the fall festival. So every year we go to Seven Springs. I'm skiing down the hills of Seven Springs. You might be familiar with Pepe's little ditty. It was lovely. First of all, we watched that Wild Robot movie that Peter recommended last TGIF. It was wonderful. I cried. My oldest daughter cried at the end, happy tears, which I don't think she had ever experienced before, because she was like, "Mommy, what's happening? My eyes are crying, but my heart is happy." And I was like, "Oh, you were touched. This means that this movie touched you." So highly recommend. Cannot say enough good things about it. I also had the funny experience of experiencing cable television through the eyes of two children who have grown up with streaming networks, because in our mountain cabin, we only had like basic cable. So they were watching PBS or whatever kids channel. It really took a while for me to help them grasp the concept that they couldn't decide what they were watching, that they had to sit there, and if they wanted to watch TV, whatever came on next was coming on next. That was a huge, like, mind-blowing revelation for them. But then the funniest thing was they didn't give a shit about the shows. After a while, those fucking commercials. I realized my daughters have never experienced commercials before, and it got to the point where they would call each other into the room to be like, come back, the commercials are on." We got home from this trip. My oldest daughter immediately wrote her letter to Santa with like 10 items that she had been brainwashed by Big Toy via commercials.
That's wild.
And then, most importantly, along with a goat trying to eat my pants and the girls getting their face painted, I got carded. I've never felt so alive.
Wow, congratulations. Isn't it great?
Weekend.
And not to backtrack too far, Chelsea, if you were able to watch The Wild Robot, why weren't you able to not watch cable TV?
Well, I'm glad that you made that connection and not the girls. But the first night we were there, I pulled up The Wild Robot on my computer, and we watched on my computer on that website that we use. But then the next day, they wanted to be able to watch whatever on my computer again. And I said, "Oh no, my computer died. We have to watch TV." Because I wasn't going to give up my computer the whole weekend to them.
Do you stream to your TV, or do you just gather around the computer?
We just gather around the computer.
Chelsea.
I know. It's on my list. I don't know how, though.
Okay, I'll teach you.
When Dr. Bald and I watch movies together using our website, we just get cozy and put the laptop on our laps.
That is insane. You don't need... Okay, all right. I come visit you in December.
I don't have an Apple TV.
I don't think you need one.
Okay.
We'll get there. God bless you.
Sure.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
Yes. One last thing that has to do with this very autumn week I'm having. The girls had their fall fun run at school, which I volunteered at. There's something magical about watching your children become the people they were meant to be, and reminding yourself that they are their own people. They are not an extension of you. They are not you. They are not little clones of you. Because as you know, I was Sporty Spice growing up. I remember the fall fun run, and I remember being like, I'm going to beat all the boys. I'm going to come in first place. And I would every year. That was my experience with the fall fun run, is it was a time for me to be Sporty Spice. So as the fall fun run's coming up, I noticed the girls are bringing it up. They're excited about it. So I'm excited about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. The morning of the fall fun run comes, and my youngest daughter spent the entire morning picking out the perfect athleisure wear. She settled on a rainbow tracksuit. She was looking in her little compact heart mirror. She was fixing her bangs ever so perfectly. And then she looked at me and said, "Mommy, I look great. I look like a runner. I will not be running because I am not messing up my hair. And then, bless her heart, she followed through with it. She talked the talk and she walked the walk because she sure did strut her little ass around that field 3 times with her little bestie. And then they did a cartwheel across the finish line.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Not that you didn't sell it, but what is the fun part of the fall fun run?
Well, for some people, it is the running and the beating of all the boys. But for those that isn't their personality, at the end, they had a little DJ and a little fall festival that then they got little raffle tickets. They were doing raffles for pumpkins. They had like apple cider, and then they had like a little sock hop dance at the end. So I think
that's the fun part. Yeah. Okay, got it. Now the name makes more sense.
Yeah. How was your week?
So the week itself was good. 4 cuties came to see O'Mary this week.
Really?
Yeah. One, I'm the ticket taker now, as you may know, so I scanned, boop, and they said, Donnie, I love you. And I thought it was just because of my name tag. I have one that says Donnie, so I said, I love you too. And then told them where to sit, and they were like, no, I love the show. And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. And then we have to enter and exit through the stage door.
Where the phantom shitter shits every time?
That one. So we have to exit through the stage door. And when we do, there's usually fans ready to meet the cast because they come out the same door. So I came out and someone, I don't know if they were just a drunk person or what, but they clapped and cheered when I came out. It was probably just a drunk person, but I'm going to pretend that it wasn't because it makes me feel good.
Are you counting that person cheering for you as part of the 4 cuties?
No.
Oh, just a side event of just extra applause. Okay, I love that.
Yeah, love that. Now this morning, though, is a little dampening compared to that because I don't know what's going on. I have therapy right after this, and I have quite a list just based on this morning. I feel like everything that I think I should be labeled as by my therapist, signs are showing this morning. So I woke up at 11. I had a long night last night, so I woke up late. Fine. I woke up at 11. We recorded this at 12:30. So that gives me an hour and a half to get ready, write the outline, make my coffee, settle in. I tried on my Halloween costume. I laid on the sofa and watched adult videos for about 45 minutes, which then put all of my skincare, showering, making the outline, and making coffee into a 15-minute interval. So because of that, I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Well, maybe it doesn't have to do with any lingering potential diagnoses, although maybe Tamara Judge could hook you up with her Zoom therapist. You could get a diagnosis by tomorrow morning. But maybe it's that messy supermoon that's got y'all in a tizzy.
Perhaps.
And also, we did do a late night recording last night with Ryan Bailey. It's out right now, so Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey. And I am very, very glad that summer is over and we are back to our normal schedule of recording during the daytime, because it does kind of throw a wrench energetically into a routine, because once I record, I'm so hyped up that like if we record until 11 o'clock at night, I'm not going to bed after that. I've just been yelling in a Zoom screen about the housewives. How could I possibly go to bed?
I know. I ordered a pint of pumpkin spice ice cream after the recording yesterday, knowing damn well that I'm lactose intolerant. So then I spent all night shitting. What a night.
Oh, what a night. Well, one thing about you is you will be eating dairy.
I do love ice cream. Even tonight, I'm going to that haunted house that I brought up briefly before. We're circling back to it now. I'm going to that haunted house, and then the haunted house on the website says it only takes 10 minutes. So it's like, I'm not going on my only day off a week into the city for 10 minutes. So the person I'm going with, I was like, let's do dinner or like get coffee or something after. And then I was like, well, maybe not coffee. It will be like 6 o'clock at night. I don't want to put that caffeine in me. I was like, ice cream would be a wonderful idea.
All right. Well, your butthole will thank you later, I suppose. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I do think the lactose intolerant community could take over the world if they wanted to channel their energy, because I have never met a collective group of people who get a diagnosis of an allergy and their response is, no.
Well, that's another thing. I never got a diagnosis. I just know I get the shits when I eat ice cream.
I think that sometimes you don't need a doctor to tell you what's going on if you have to be running to the toilet pretty consistently 15 minutes after you consume dairy of any kind. But again, I admire that can-do attitude that you're like, I can eat this ice cream and I can shit my brains out.
But there's just so much wrong inside my body, Chelsea, that I don't know what comes with what. Because I drink my coffee dairy-free and it still makes me gag for 2 hours. And yet, Bottoms up.
I think this speaks to my mental state because my vocal stems. I did catch myself before I said this because sometimes things I say out loud, I am turning into my mother, where it becomes just such a routine that I forget other people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, for example, if at any point, Donnie, the next time you're around my mom, if you say the word jelly, she will, despite any activity she's in, despite being mid-sentence, she will say, jelly, jelly, the man gave me jelly. Why? Where it comes from? No one knows, but that will be said. Now, when you said bottoms up, I did want to say, bottoms up, put it in her butt. Because that was a little remake that me and my friend group made in high school. So
That's cute. Let me talk about this haunted house while I have the floor.
I'm so surprised that you're going to a haunted house. You are such a scaredy cat. Is it one of the ones where you have to sign like a waiver because they're going to touch you?
In New York, it's a law. They're not allowed to touch you, thank God.
Okay.
But that is my flaw. Like, those ones sound fun to me. I just saw, there's this black girl on TikTok that says, like, I go out of my way to do things that people say in the comments that black people don't do. So she saw a haunted house where, like, there's a safe word because the people are literally allowed to do almost anything to you. There was a video from it of her and her friends where they put a bag over someone's head, chained them, and drug them across the floor. And, like, that is sick, but then in my head, for a split second, I think, oh, I would love that.
I think you would love to work at a place like that. Number one, because you love a job. You love to work. But I think because then you could be in control and you could be doing the scary things to others. We have a haunted house like that near where I live, but it's in the woods. And you have to sign a waiver because they will jump out at you. They will touch you. They will grab you. And you're in the pitch dark woods.
There's one in Tennessee, I think. Oh, this is actual news. Someone sent this to me yesterday and was like, you could cover this on TGIF. And I said, yes, I could. But I didn't. But now that we're here, I might as well. There is one in Tennessee that people are begging for it to be shut down because there's a 40-page waiver that you have to sign. And in the waiver, they say that things can happen up to but not limited to tooth pulling, finger breaking, head shaving.
What the fuck?
That's disgusting.
At that point, just get kidnapped.
Right.
I haven't been to a haunted house since elementary school or maybe middle school. Maybe I'm pretending I was younger than I was. I think I was too old to do this, but my friend brought me to her youth group Halloween party and they had a haunted house in her church basement. And I literally midway through made them turn on the lights and remove me because I was too afraid. I haven't been back.
Was it a religious one or was it just a haunted house?
It was just a haunted house, which feels weird that there were like demons and goblins and ghouls in the bottom of a church. But I guess authentic to hell, perhaps.
Love that. Yeah, this one is Jimmy Fallon's To Nightmares. So if it's good, I'll let you know, cuties.
Well, that does sound like a haunted house because if the Hunger Games were real, Jimmy Fallon would be the host. So just one step closer, I suppose.
I guess. So that's that. This could be my last day alive. So cuties, if if you want to support my last day on earth, go watch this video on YouTube. You can play it at my funeral. Or subscribe to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne.
You know I love when you hit us with the www. So this week brought us Peter Griffin on Hot Ones, new Lady Gaga music, more details of Liam Payne's passing, Brittany Mahomes doing prenatal workouts to avoid mom butt, and Andrew Garfield talking to Elmo about grief.
Chelsea, last week we had a very Wicked heavy episode, and I'm going to continue that today.
Great.
But it's kind of your fault, because yesterday on Ryan Bailey's show, I wore green, and you showed up wearing pink. It's almost as if you wanted this to happen.
Okay, I was asking for it. What are we going to talk about today? You don't even need to preface it with, this has been Wicked heavy. I know what's happening. I have begrudgingly signed up for this circus, that Wicked is going to be your entire personality, at least through November, but probably beyond.
Probably. You may notice if you're watching on YouTube, the background light is pink today. Maybe next week I'll change it to green so we can defy gravity together. But yes, the more things come, and people are knowing this about me now too. Someone sent me, if you see Wicked at Alamo Draft House, you can buy a lunchbox and a thermos.
Cute.
I'm going.
Okay.
We can make this a reel because I do have a bone to pick. I'm tagging Alamo Draft House as we speak in this very reel. The thing I love about Alamo Drafthouse, the reason I pay $20 to see a movie there, is because you're not allowed to speak or be on your phone. And if you do speak or be on your phone, they kick you out after one warning. And you're allowed to rat other people out. You can have a little note card where you write your order, like, hey, pretzel sticks and a beer. But then if you notice the lady 2 rows in front of you is talking, you can write an order down and just hold it up. And the server comes and it says, hey, the lady in row 2, seat 4 is talking, and then they go kick her out. Love that.
So to be clear, I know that you preface this by saying you love the rules, but really you love being a narc. There's nothing that brings your spirit more joy than tattling on somebody else.
But for Wicked, for whatever reason, I guess because it's rated PG and based on Wizard of Oz, half the showings at Alamo Drafthouse are children friendly, which means the lights aren't as dark and they're not as strict about people talking. What the fuck? The only times that you can see Wicked at Alamo Drafthouse with not a child-friendly viewing experience is 9 o'clock at night. And this movie is close to 3 hours long. I'm not doing that. But also, I'm not sitting next to some little snot-nosed brat singing Defying Gravity when I'm supposed to be watching Cynthia Erivo do it. You understand?
I understand. You're really in a pickle. And Alamo Drafthouse, if you're watching this reel, Donnie's got a bone to pick with you.
Change the rule, please. No childhood-friendly experiences for Wicked.
I have a question. I have many questions about Wicked,
Yeah.
but I'll spread them out over the next
And
several
none of
weeks.
this is my headline, by the way. Go ahead.
Do you think that the culture of watching Wicked is going to be like watching, what's that one?
Rocky Horror.
Is it going to be like Rocky Horror where you're supposed to participate and sing along and dress in costume? Like, do you think that's going to be the culture that every theater kid who watched Wicked is going to be singing Defying Gravity in Alamo Drafthouse despite their age?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be interactive. I think we might get, especially with the marketing we've seen, like merch for everything, everywhere. I do think we might get like a Barbie or Black Panther experience with costumes, but I don't think the experience itself is supposed to be a sing-along. Now, there will be the Lea Michelles of the world in the audience that will sing, and that's when I'll have to hold up my card. Hopefully, they still follow those rules, but...
Maybe you should just bring a flashlight so you can just flash the seat. Make it easier for the usher.
Me being an usher is, I think, fate finding itself in the world.
You've been training.
Yes, my very first usher day, there was a woman, she was either on her phone or taking a picture. I think just on her phone, like texting. Not even breaking the law, really, just texting. And I shoved that flashlight in her face and said, it's not that kind of show, honey.
And that woman, Lauren Boebert.
So all of that, not my headline. What I want to
Great.
talk about today really is Cynthia Erivo. And I've touched on this on our Ryan Bailey episode. So maybe you'll just get the same material. Maybe you need to go over there for a companion piece. However, I love a woman in the news that the world decides to take down because everything the people say about these women, yes, they should be taken down. They are too big for their britches. They are terrible women. They are outspeaking. But it just makes me giggle and it fills me with so much joy to support these women. So the more people come out with these stories about Cynthia Erivo being a demon, the more I support her.
I had no knowledge besides the fact that she was going to play Elfie. Okay, see? Look,
Long name. That's the nickname. Elfie's the nickname. Elphaba is the long name. And a little Wicked trivia behind the scenes for you, Chelsea. L. Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz, so Elphaba is where she got her name.
Very TikTok influencer naming her children of that person. But all I knew was that she was playing Elfie, that people seemed excited about it, that you hadn't talked shit about the casting. So clearly that means something in this world, that you didn't immediately say you could do a better job, etc. So I had no working knowledge. And then these headlines started to come out, and I was looking at some of these headlines, and I texted you and I was like, am I missing something? Is there a larger context? Is there Broadway lore? Like, am I missing a piece of the puzzle? Because it seems like she's really worked up over something that seems pretty innocuous. And you went on to tell me that, in fact, she is just kind of unhinged in a delightful way.
And that's my opinion. And there are people online sticking up for her, saying, like, at the end of the day, like, they did erase the eyes of a black woman. They are forcing a woman to smile. I understand all that. But when you pair it with with her in the past yelling at someone on Twitter because they fan casted her in a Hercules movie that didn't even exist as one of the muses. And she said, like, I've been the leads in this, and this. Why would I backtrack and play ensemble? I love that kind of behavior.
Uh-huh.
She also in the past has tweeted angrily at someone when they said they couldn't afford tickets to see her on Broadway, and she said, maybe if you sold that iPhone you're tweeting from. And this is like a middle school girl that tweeted that. It's so good. So all of that is the past. What's happening right now is the original poster for Wicked is a cartoon version of the Wicked Witch of the West with her hat covering her eye like this, and she's smiling. And then the Good Witch is whispering something in her ear. So they tried to recreate that poster with the two actresses playing Elphaba and Glinda. But in it, the hat is a little higher. You see Elphaba's eyes. And she's not smiling. And she doesn't have a red lip. It's just regular old green lips. And someone made a fan edit, making it look more like the original poster. And Cynthia made a story and said this. This is the wildest, most offensive thing I have seen, equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your pussy green? None of this is funny. None of this is cute. It degrades me. It degrades us. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real-life human being who chose to look right down the barrel of the camera to you, the viewer, because without words, we communicate with our eyes. Our poster is an homage, not an imitation. To edit my face and hide my eyes is to erase me, and that is just deeply hurtful.
I love that she paraphrased Mystery, the pickup artist. I'm going to go ahead and put the clip here for the YouTube.
It's all in the eyes. You know what they say? I see you.
I don't know what kind of contracts these ladies sign, but the amount of merch being sold for this movie alone, I could live comfortably the rest of my life with just a fraction of that cost. So that's not even how much you got paid for this 2-part movie, both of which are coming out around Christmas time, 1 year apart from each other. So that's a big paycheck this year, and then another big paycheck next year. They could Photoshop me having sex with a horse, and I wouldn't say anything, Chelsea.
You'd say, easy boy. Whoa, Nelly. I can hold space for two truths, and I can understand that for her, she is perhaps like putting on that armor and gearing up for all of the theater kids having a lot to say. Because the thing about theater kids is they are akin, they are related, they are cousins to the Book is Better Bitch. And certainly there are going to be think pieces comparing and contrasting the film adaptation to their favorite performance on Broadway of it.
Yeah.
And so maybe she's just like preemptively getting defensive because she knows what might be coming. But also to call that the most offensive thing, that's where she loses me. Because it's like, have some sense of reality of what is actually happening here, which is a fan edit.
The whole thing is intense. But now people trolling her on Twitter is my new favorite thing. Oh, no. There's a new poster of just their hands, the Green Witch and Glinda's hands. They're holding hands. And someone said, show her eyes, you monster.
Well, another good thing of this scandal is I did learn the lore of the green pussy, that it's a staple of Broadway tradition.
You've got another month of this, Chelsea.
Yeah, well, I do think, and it might be a careful what you wish for situation, but I do think as it gets a little bit closer, I would like to do either like a full TGIF or a Patreon episode of me asking questions about Wicked going into it, because I do want to go into the viewing experience with as much background knowledge as I can so that I'm also enjoying some of the like Easter eggs and the things that I'm going to see on screen.
Are you going to read the book?
I think I did read the book.
Oh. If you remember an orgy with animals, you've read it.
So we'll talk about it more in a future episode. So cuties, in the YouTube comments, let us know if that would be something you'd be interested in for a TGIF or if we should just keep it on Patreon.
Yeah, good idea.
I want to talk about Northwest's birthday present for her mother. So Northwest gave her mom a diamond and silver necklace engraved with the words Skibidi Toilet in honor of the Skims co-founder's 44th birthday. Kardashian shared a video of the questionably personalized piece of jewelry on her Instagram story on Monday. Northie got me a diamond necklace that says Skibidi Toilet. Wow, she said with a laugh while filming the sparkly tennis necklace. Now, Donnie, are you familiar with the lore of Skibidi Toilet?
I've heard the phrase in passing, but I don't know the origin or anything else.
Yeah, I don't think that you come into close enough contact with middle schoolers to really appreciate how much Skibidi Toilet has taken the nation by storm. It is on the banned word list of most of my friends who teach middle school. They have an ongoing list of words you cannot say in class because it just derails the conversation, and middle schoolers, kind of like us, how we just regurgitate the same thing over and over again. Skibidi Toilet is one of those things because it comes from a web series called Da Fuck Boom, where it depicts a fictional war between human-headed toilets and humanoid characters with electronic devices for heads. And Skibidi Toilet has come from there and is now just kind of like a vocal stim for Gen Alpha.
Huh.
I know the Kardashians are the Kardashians, and maybe I'm naive and this is me being bamboozled by Kris Jenner's black magic once again, but I feel like Northwest just being a normal, weird middle schooler in the Northwest Kardashian capacity of being able to afford a diamond tennis bracelet, but I love that she is just a kid. Like, she's 11 and she's acting like it.
I want to hang out with her so bad, and I haven't said it until right now because there's no real safe place I can say that. Twitter would say things about me, YouTube would say things about me, so I've been keeping it tight to my chest. But just last night, I had a dream that Kim and Northwest came to see O'Mary, and I did my best to make sure I was the ticket taker that they came through the line to see.
Okay, well, I don't know... I don't know how to respond to that because I don't want to say, like, you should have an Olsen countdown clock for when she turns 18. And
no, I want to be her nanny.
Okay.
I think she and I would have great fun as what's that movie with Brittany Murphy?
Uptown Girl situation.
Yes, yeah.
I think she seems very delightful, and I think that it's clear that she is Kanye's daughter with some of the stuff that she does, like that scene you told me about where she's just eating an onion like an apple and critiquing her mom's Met Gala looks. Like, I love that for her. And I love that when asked why she got her mom the present, she answered, because she loves Skibidi Toilet. And Kim Kardashian said, do I?
But I will go watch an episode of that show.
Yeah, I was curious about it because this article was the first time I did hear the backstory of it, because I just know that all of my cousins, it's like a tick. They just yell it. Like, they'll be in the mid-sentence and they'll be like, Skibidi Toilet. It's like, what is happening here?
YouTube shows have that ability. Did you watch Most Popular Girls in School with the Barbies?
You have told me about it. You've sent me some of the clips.
yes. But that was my vocal tick in the mid-2000s. The 2013 range, Most Popular Girls in School. I watched it like it was a Tyler Perry drama. Every time there was a new episode, I was hooked. I needed to know what was happening with those Barbies.
Yeah, but that also, the early 2000s was the YouTube era of those like short clips and then Vines, where it really did just work its way into culture of like, ouch, Charlie, or the salad fingers character, like all of those things that just like became what we said. So I guess this is just the next generation. This is their like, oh my God, shoes.
Yeah.
But it's Skibidi Toilet.
Do you think this is a compliment or a dig? Sometimes I see on TikTok or Instagram Reels, people in the comments say, this would have done wonders on Vine.
I take that to be the highest compliment. It might not be the intention in which that commenter is saying. I'm sure there is a bit of a backhanded nature of like, this is the year 2024, buddy. This is Vine material. But to me, Vine was that girl. Again, it goes back to the silliness. Like, Vine was so silly, and I loved the culture that came out of Vine of just like dumb shit that made you laugh in a short capacity. Because I think anytime Instagram gives us a couple more seconds for a reel, or TikTok gives us a couple more minutes to be able to post, it allows more time for a dissertation or a discussion. Where Vine, you had 15 seconds, like, hit it and quit it. Get your point across, make me laugh, and get the fuck out.
TikTok extending to 60 seconds, and now it's 10 minutes. But 60 seconds is when the app went downhill for me.
Yeah, my attention span can't take it.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to wear today to that haunted house so I can do a get ready with me. Just a 30-second jump from my panties into jeans.
I'm surprised that you don't have that werewolf costume on lock.
I might.
That is an appropriate, okay, this is an intervention. Tonight, a haunted house, spooky season, 80 degrees outside. That is the perfect time for a cut-off werewolf costume. What concerns me is when on a random Wednesday, I receive a selfie of you looking at yourself in the mirror wearing that werewolf costume, because it is no longer a costume. It is just your uniform.
I wear it as a hoodie, yeah, around my house, yeah. I like it. So on Monday's episode, cuties, I'm dressing as Wednesday Addams for our Addams Family episode. And the costume came in today. And I was late to today's recording because in that manic, frazzled time, I told you I watched porn for 45 minutes. I told you I took 15 minutes to take a shower. So what does that leave the other half hour? I know you were thinking that earlier in the episode. You said you had an hour and a half. Where's that other half hour? It was just wearing that dress around my house.
Okay, so thank you for letting me know that I can mentally prepare for me to be speaking to a person who is not listening to me, is not looking at me, is just eye-fucking themselves in their Zoom camera yet again.
Chelsea, it fits like a glove. It's like the sisterhood of the traveling pants. I don't know what it is with that dress. It fits me like a glove. I didn't even try on the wig or anything else, just the dress. And then I had my fan on because it is 82 degrees. So my fan was on, so then it was blowing the skirt up a little bit. I might wear it to the Eagle this weekend.
You should.
Just that and a jockstrap. No wig.
As long as you're not showing up to our Monday's recording with a stain on the dress, we're good.
Well, then I'll be Monica Lewinsky.
Okay. So let's move on to Cutie of the Week. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first. My cutie of the week is Olivia Rodrigo. Famously, last week, she fell through the stage, you may recall. But this week, she has like a kiss cam during one of her songs. And she pointed out these two people in the audience and was like, kiss him, kiss him, kiss him. And it was brother and sister.
Did they kiss?
They didn't. They said, we're brother and sister. And she said, oh, sorry. I love Olivia.
That.
Here's the thing about Friends. Friends, I can add on to. So, like, some people say, you know, I only have 2 best friends. I have 30 best friends, and there are, like, top 5, but there are truly, like, if it was The Purge and I had to kill one of the 30, I truly don't know where I would start. I do have 30 best friends.
I've gotten feedback from the cuties because apparently when I tell stories, I rarely use names, and I do call everybody a best friend. So people have said, like, is that the same best friend that did this or did this? And I'm like, nope, separate people, because I feel the same way. I would say I have like 5 very best friends, and I treat it like a top 8 on MySpace. If they piss me off, you move down the list. It's a rotating list at any given day of where you fall in that top 5, but if you make it to that top 5, you can chop off my head and I'll still forgive you.
Now, I will say, if I refer to someone as my best friend on this podcast, it is only one person. But in my heart, there are 30 best friends, except that person is, you know who you are. But with stars, there isn't that. There's always one that's at the top at one given time. So Olivia Rodrigo was that top for a long time. Her first album, I made a whole Broadway show, jukebox musical, of how the songs could intertwine and what we could get out of it. Now, she's done nothing with this content yet. I'm waiting.
What? I'm going to ask. I'm going to regret it. What was the concept? What was the general idea?
Album flows together very nice with like a dark relationship stalker kind of girl. I do have an outline written down, a treatment for this musical.
I do think one of our TGIFs should be us doing a read through of some of the things that you've written over the years.
I want to do a staged reading of that script that I wrote that's a parody of, like, Laguna Beach, the OC Gossip Girl. But it was written in 2005, so you have to think of where the world was in 2005.
And then
The Office was popular, whatever. And then I was not as woke as I am now. So as unwoke as the world was, and then someone with just, like, basically Rob Schneider wrote it in 2005. It is so problematic, but it is so funny.
I think that should be part of our live show. I think that maybe I can go through with an editing lens of, like, we can have a narrator and say, like, this line was changed. Use your imagination for which word was subbed out. And then that can be part of the lore of, like, we're saying it without saying it.
Chelsea, there's...
Oh, God. I don't like when you... Look how red you are. This is going to be evil.
There's one.
You're as red as that lamp behind you. You're Glinda.
This is Patreon only. There's one girl who thinks her boyfriend is cheating the whole time. Every time she sees him, he's like across the campus, walking in slow motion with this really hot girl whose like blonde hair is blowing in the wind, but you never see them close up and you never see her speak. Then at the end of the movie, the twist is
a few moments later.
Oh, that's a twist. So back to Olivia Rodrigo.
Olivia was number one for a long time, and then Sabrina Carpenter came in and kind of took over that spot. But these things from the tour, Olivia is inching her way back up. Yeah.
All she needs is a bad interview with that interviewer you hate, and she'll be right back on top.
Truly. Or she can even go on Hot Wings. I would like her there, too.
Or that chicken shop date.
That's been on for 10 years. Last week, I referred to it as a new show.
Anywho, my cutie of the week is What We Do in the Shadows. The trailer dropped along with the first 3 episodes. I have not watched it yet, but Dr. Bald and I are going to be watching it this weekend together because it's one of those shows that we can actually both watch together and enjoy. We're going to huddle around my laptop and really enjoy it. Just kidding. We watched that one on the television.
Thank God.
But this is the final season, and I have decided that the movie, the original What We Do in the Shadows movie that was the inspiration for the TV show, will be in the Chalchella lineup. I really think you would like that show, Donnie.
I watched all of season 1.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a show that was fine for me. Like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything I need to keep track of.
Okay.
But there will be a day. There are shows like that, and there are others that I can't name right now. Not because I'm protecting them, just because I forget. But where, like, I make enough of a dent in it, and I enjoyed it enough that one day, when I become so bored and there's truly nothing to watch, I'll go back and pick up where I left off.
Yeah, well, that's enough of a compliment for me that you watched a season, and it's good enough that you haven't watched the last 5 seasons, but you might one day.
Yeah, that. I can only hope someone says the same about our podcast one day.
Yeah, they listened to one episode and thought, that was weird. Maybe I'll listen to another one day.
When I'm truly bored, I'll go back. Cuties, that's it. That's the whole episode. So one more reminder about our YouTube channel. I am the Cute One Podcast, and that is in the show notes. Go check it out. And then on Monday, we'll be covering the Addams Family.
You'll get to watch Donnie stare at himself. And just another reminder that patreon.com/IamTheCuteOne for an ad-free experience or for the uncut, unedited version, because this was a long recording. We have been recording for an hour. Who knows what's going to make it to the main feed, but I can guarantee that the plot to a screenplay that Donnie wrote in college certainly won't be on the main feed. So if you want that problematic pile of, I hate to say it, but gold, go on over to the Patreon.
Enjoy. We will talk to you later. Love you like a sister. Bye.
Bye.